Hello everyone, welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter Tarnia Green. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Among the major developments, Ambassador Charles Maynard laid to rest, a new village council inaugurated in La Plaine, and the Feast of the Farmers to be staged in Saint-Sever this weekend. We'll bring you the details of these and other stories when National Focus returns. Stay with us.
Hello, I am Bishop Gabriel Malzer, Bishop of Roseau, and I am Dominica. Are you?
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. The St. Alphonsus Catholic Church was packed to capacity on Tuesday afternoon as hundreds gathered to pay their last respects to a great Dominican son of the soil, the late Ambassador Charles Maynard. Dominica's ambassador to CARICOM and the OECS, Charles Maynard, who had been ill for several months, died on May 8, 2012 at the Princess Margaret Hospital. The government of Dominica declared today, Tuesday, as an official day of mourning for Ambassador Maynard, and all Dominican flags were flown at half-staff on all public buildings in the state. Ambassador Maynard, who was an outstanding former public servant, businessman, politician, parliamentarian, and diplomat, received an official send-off on Tuesday afternoon. The Dominica Labour Party government says Ambassador Maynard will be remembered for his significant contribution to Dominica's political, economic, and social development. Ambassador Maynard, during his active life in politics, held several ministerial portfolios over a period of more than a decade in the Dominica Freedom Party administration of the late Prime Minister Dame Mary Eugenia Charles. We will bring you a special report on the funeral service burial of Ambassador Charles Maynard in Wednesday's newscast. In more news, the Youth Development Division, through its 40-year existence in Dominica, has been able to impact on the lives of thousands of young people on the island in a number of areas, particularly in technical education. The division over the years has initiated several programs for young people, including multidisciplinary leadership training, summer day camps, counseling, and more recently, enterprise development. Chief Youth Development Officer Jules Pascal, who has worked with the department for several years, says the impact of the Youth Development Division in shaping the lives of young people is significant and must be underscored.
We have been able to help to develop the leadership structure within our groups and to assist young people to develop community spirit, the spirit of volunteerism, and appreciation for family and group work in the country. In addition to that, I think the Youth Development Division has contributed to a very great extent to enabling young people to realize and recognize that they have a potential. They have potential, and as such, they can reinvest, put it that way, put that potential in their communities. So community-mindedness, community development, community spirit, the spirit of volunteerism, leadership development, group work development, technical vocational education, as well as other than the developing the social aspect of life in general. These are some of the main areas that we have contributed to the development of our young people.
Mr. Pascal says the Youth Skills Training Program, which came into being in 1982, has been able to provide valuable skills to over 6,000 young people across Dominica.
At that time, unemployment was the big thing, and our young people needed training, our young people needed skills. And so the skills training program came at the time when young people needed to have technical vocational skills that would make them more employable. And so that we can consider the hallmark for that period. Now we're looking at entrepreneurship, because a lot of young people there are no jobs, and they need to create jobs for themselves. So at this particular time in our history, we can look at entrepreneurship, the Youth Business Trust, as one of the hallmarks of our program.
Over the years, the government of Dominica has injected a significant amount of financial resources towards the sustenance of the Youth Development Division, with overseas partners such as the Commonwealth Youth Program lending support. The mission of the Youth Development Division is to develop the potential of the island's young people and assist them in developing themselves. Parliamentary representative for the La Plaine constituency, Honorable Peter Saint-Jean, had strong words of advice for the newest members of the La Plaine Village Council, including a charge to unite the neighboring communities within the constituency by actualizing the vows taken. The minister was speaking in his community at the 17th inaugural meeting of the La Plaine Village Council, which was held at the Jones Beaupierre Primary School on Monday.
Your task, therefore, is for this council to work towards the unification of La Ronde, or the unification of the people of La Ronde, La Plaine, and Cascaré, so that every individual, every man, every woman, every boy and girl, first of all, recognizes, and secondly, understands the need for us to work as a team, as community. However, you must be mindful, council, that if council is to create an impression on the community, you as leaders must exemplify what it is that you are seeking to achieve.
The Honorable Minister stated that he anticipated the same support that he received from the previous council, whose exceptional cooperation made a number of projects successful. He went on to list some of those projects.
We undertook the construction of a number of village roads to include the Balizier Back Road, the Balizier Main Road, the E&B Bakery Road, that is the road running up through the back part of Balizier, the Old Plainfield Road, the Ghetto Road, or part of the Ghetto Road, the Dizac Road, to include both wings of the Dizac Road, the right and left, the La Ronde Road, the Castlegory Road, the Magwetut Feeder Road. In reality, we tackled head-on the issue of in-village access. One of the biggest challenges that we were faced with was a link road to join Dizac and Balizier. And of course, like the chair said to you, we were told that that was an impossible task. But we were able not only to cut the road, but to pave the road and create much needed access between the two hamlets of La Plaine. Friends, I must speak to the fact that today, students of La Plaine travel to school in Roseau and back with relative comfort, making standing on the roadside and hitchhiking a thing of the past. Parents no longer have to worry about the payments of $250 every month to a bus driver in these hard economic times.
Minister Saint-Jean reminded the constituents of the global financial crisis and appealed for their patience.
I wish, however, to call on you, the villagers, to be mindful of the global financial climate within which we operate. If you look at your televisions, you will realize that even the biggest of economies, like the mighty United States, are grappling to provide their people with the basic services. So please understand that it is a matter of time, and good things come to those who wait, but good things don't come easy.
Honourable Reginald Austry's address to the council was one of encouragement. Minister Austry, who was representing the Prime Minister at the inauguration meeting, declared that by performing well and by pulling all resources together, the La Plaine Village Council can stimulate change. The minister admonished the community that the village council will never be able to complete the task without the cooperation of the entire community, directed at the development of La Plaine.
Now is not the time for us to become individualistic and I go my own way and you go your own way, because what they're actually doing is fragmenting the society and getting us weaker as individuals. But now it's time for us to come together now as a people and to see what we can do for the sake of our country and for the sake of all these young, beautiful children we saw singing here this afternoon. But you in La Plaine, you have a particular challenge in bringing those people together. And I hope we have Pentecostal, Catholic, 7 days on the village council. I hope we have red, green, blue, yellow, violet, name it, on the council. Because we have to break down those barriers. Those things that seek to divide us and to keep us apart, we have to break them down. And the only way we can break them down is to come together like this. But you, the community, you have your responsibility. Because these 8 people or 7, I see 7. These 8 or 7, how many are there? They alone cannot do it. They're not your servants, nor are they your masters. They are put there to lead the process. But their success will be your success. If they fail, it means that you, the people of La Plaine, have failed. When they succeed, it's you, the people of La Plaine, that succeed. And so you have to work with them, and they have to work with you to make sure that we can do what we have to do for the people of La Plaine.
And regional pollster Peter Wakeham says Dominica, under the leadership of Prime Minister Honourable Roosevelt Skerrit, has recorded positive growth during the last 3 terms in office. Wickham made the comment during an interview with GIS News on Sunday.
There's a presumption across the region now, and certainly the world, that governments are just being thrown out because of the economic situation. But I tried to present data to demonstrate that the growth and trend in relation to the last 3 terms, or the 3 terms that the Dominica Labour Party has, is distinctively different because it has demonstrated a capacity to grow its support over time. And I think that that's a significant resource that will ensure that as times become leaner, it will be able to weather political storms. So the point I was making was that the history of the Dominica Labour Party in the 3 terms has been one where it has actually grown, while most governments across the region would have lost popular support. It has actually grown popular support. The level of popular support that the Dominica Labour Party has now is one of the highest in the region, quite frankly. And it's difficult to find a comparative example of a government that is as strong in terms of its popular support and opposition as Dominica.
He attributed much of the progress made in the development of the country to the efforts by the country's leader, Honourable Roosevelt Skerrit.
There are economic factors as well, but in our system, what we have done is we have replaced, in the Westminster model, we have replaced the king with the Prime Minister. And I think in the case of Dominica, it's difficult to look at the development of the Dominica Labour Party without appreciating that Prime Minister Skerrit has been a major factor. You had 2 Prime Ministers die in relatively close succession, and arguably he had a major challenge on his hand. And certainly as you compare him to Prime Minister Stewart in Barbados, who also took over from a leader that died, Prime Minister Stephenson King in St. Lucia, and I could even go as far back as Prime Minister Chambers in Trinidad and Tobago. The outcome is very different, and it speaks volumes about the substantial difference between the personality of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and several other Prime Ministers who have taken over under similar circumstances.
The Caribbean pollster addressed hundreds of DLP supporters at the party's delegates conference in St. Joseph on Sunday. He was impressed with the turnout and the enthusiasm of the DLP delegates and supporters.
It suggests that Dominica Labour Party members, the rank and file, are still excited. After being in office for more than 10 years, it's usually difficult to whip up this much enthusiasm among the party base because there should be a level of disenchantment at this stage, and then there isn't. So the turnout is large, and there's an excitement and a buzz that you don't normally see at a party convention around this time, especially for government that has been in office as long as this.
And the preparations are in high gear for the staging of this year's Feast of the Farmers, or Fête Saint Isidore in Saint-Sever. The village feast, which is an annual one, will begin this year on Wednesday, May 23rd, and will culminate on Monday, May 28th. Fête Isidore is observed by the villages of Good Hope, Saint-Sever, and Petit-Soufrière.
The Feast of Saint Isidore, as it's celebrated in Saint-Sever by the villagers of Good Hope, Saint-Sever, and Petit-Soufrière, it's in honor of the patron saint of farmers, Saint Isidore. As you know, the three communities are farming communities. In Saint-Sever, we concentrate a lot on fishing and other aspects of agriculture in these areas. So the Feast of Saint Isidore is really about taking the opportunity to give praise during Mass and in other ways for the agricultural yields, the harvest that we've realized over the past year. So when we come together on Whit Monday, when we hold High Mass, that's what we're doing. We're giving God thanks for His blessings, where farming and agriculture are concerned in the community.
This year, the activities will begin with a panel discussion to be staged on Wednesday, May 23rd. The panel discussion will be held on the topic Reviving the Agricultural Sector, Challenges and Opportunities. Parliamentary representative for the Casa Bruce constituency, Honorable Johnson Drygo, an official from the Ministry of Agriculture, and farmers will participate in the discussion.
In keeping with the whole theme of the Feast of Saint Isidore, the emphasis on farming, we thought it would be a good opportunity to start with a panel discussion when we will discuss the agriculture sector challenges and opportunities. And at that discussion, we have the parliamentary representative for the area himself, Mr. Drygo, very interested in the forward movement of agriculture, not only in his area, but nationally. So the discussion will discuss the challenges facing the industry and the opportunities as he sees it for developing the industry. We'll also have the extension officer and farmers from the three communities who will weigh in on the topic.
A games night and Lapo Cabwit competition will be held on Friday, May 25, and a fish night is planned for Saturday, May 26.
This year we are highlighting the cultural aspect of the Lapo Cabwit. We have some very vibrant Lapo Cabwit groups in our community, and when we say that, in this sense, we mean from Casa Bruce right down to Petit-Soufrière. So we've involved these groups, and we're having a competition on the Friday night along with a games night. On Saturday, we consider it one of the highlights of our weekend of activities because it's our fish night, and that's when you can come to Saint-Sever and sample fish done in every which way. And I like to say that in Saint-Sever we do fish right because that's what we know, that's what we do. We are known as one of the fishing communities in Dominica.
On Sunday, May 27, the Miss Isidore pageant will feature 5 beautiful contestants from Casa Bruce, Good Hope, Saint-Sever, and Petit-Soufrière. This will be followed by a dance.
Last year we started it off and it went very well, and this year we've put together 5 contestants who we think will also do very well. So I'm excited about that. That happens on Sunday.
On Pentecost Monday, May 28, a parade featuring local bands and groups will proceed to High Mass. At the celebration, one elder who has given long and faithful service to the communities and to the celebration of the Feast of St. Isidore will be honored.
We start that day with a parade, and during that parade it promises to be exciting because that's when you see the farmers, the men and women of the 3 communities who make this their livelihood. They show off what they get up to during the year with their produce, and they dance to Mass, and we really have a good time at Mass celebrating and praising. After that we move right into an exhibition, and again this year it's themed along the lines of farming and agriculture and what we get involved in the communities. And we end with a grand fair with the WCK band.
And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce comes up next with your Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premier Ministre et puis chef Dominica Labour Party, Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, qui a ses supportants Labour Party pour chaîne une fondation bien solide qui tient Labour Party en l'office pour l'autre 25 l'année. Honorable Skerritt fait parole celle-là pendant qu'il a adressé conférence delegates en Saint-Joe dimanche. Sinon, Honorable Skerritt, malgré Labour Party qui a des bout bien solide dans le pays là, moun pas en est supposé la langue. Et il comme premier ministre qui travaille bien formidable et puis il pas voulu faire les anciens premier ministre de fait. Honorable Skerritt aussi a encouragé même parlement Labour Party pour travailler plus ouais en ces différents constituencies là en Dominique. Et aussi crier à CEO pour pas en prendre toute bagaille all right, mais travailler plus ouais pour avancement en pays là. En notre nouvelle, le gouvernement Dominica a tapé assistance People's Republic of China où là, il a financé bâtiment en l'école en Charlottesville. Sinon, le parlement Honorable Ambrose George, projet celle-là qui bâti et puis plusieurs étages.
On est à Charlottesville, Newton Primary School. C'est l'école gouvernement. Ça nous a fait actuellement, nous avons bâti en l'école 9 et Primary School pour Charlottesville. L'école ça a un service pour les enfants qui ont l'école Egliston, Girondel, Soufrière, La Pointe, Loubière, Kingshill, toutes ces places-là, les enfants sont hors ces places-là qui attendent l'école Newton Primary. L'école là, c'est une école qui était bâtie plusieurs années qui passaient. Mais actuellement, nous avons tapé un cadeau au gouvernement Chine, pays Chine, pour bâtir l'école neuve. C'est une école qui est moderne, il y a 4 levels, 4 stories, avec un élévateur, parce qu'il y a plusieurs enfants qui nous challenge. Il n'y a pas ça monter ces staircases-là, il n'y a pas ça accéder classroom. So, élévateur, ça, qui est un des primaires pour accéder classroom là, sur tous ces levels de l'école là. So you want to tout level, you want to toute classe à l'école là. Avec c'est un bon cadeau. Nous avons dit merci pour l'ambassadeur Chine, avec le gouvernement Moonhod Chine pour nous cadeau ça. Avec nous sentons que l'école ça qui a un bon service pour tout le monde à Charlottesville. C'est un projet tout le monde à Charlottesville qui a apprécié.
En notre nouvelle, le cabinet Dominica expecté pour garder bien pour draft législation qui concerne no smoke zone, ça c'est législation pour empêcher le monde de fumer en public. Parole cela sorti du ministère de la Santé, Honorable Julius Timothy. Honorable Timothy aussi parle qui concerne le monde qui a servi de drogue marijuana.
Et à Port-au-Prince Declaration, là, yon se bite, yo te dit, c'est pour monde pas fumer en place publique. Et puis, des trois les autres nations déjà mettaient ça à loi. Mais Dominique n'a pas fait. Et puis, pour commitment nous pour Port-au-Prince Declaration, ça là, nous déjà fait la législation, ça là, mais cabinet pas encore, ouais, et puis legal affairs pas encore, ouais. So, dans un petit accord, nous avons législation, ça là.
Finalement, le ministre de la Santé a travaillé plusieurs aspects tapé manière pour traiter CNC des Dominique. Parole celle-là sorti le permanent secrétaire ministre de la Santé Helen Royer. Sinon, secrétaire Royer, ministre de la Santé a travaillé et puis un stratégique plan pour la santé en Dominique.
Bagay comment moun ka occuper ko yo même ça sont important section project ça là ça parce que nous ka dit autant faut quoi faire bagay ba moun nous ka parler ba yo mais yon important bagay c'est pour train health professional pour yo virer ay train d'autres monde mais problème là nous ka taper quand docteur Tomo dit c'est on peut-être fois ministère santé ka fait on peut-être bagay mais moun ka lage tout bagay ministère santé because yo ka comprendre puisque c'est santé c'est ministère santé qui ni pour faire mais et puis project ça là ça nous ka faire moun ki ka taper passeport so même quand on est passeport pour partir pour un pays ou que un passeport pour chronic diseases so n'importe où ni diabetes ou ni high blood pressure le registre yo ke ba on passport. Now passport sa la se ini different bagay ki ka montrer moun na comment pour yo occuper ko yo la yo voit si yo to ça pour yo faire si yo ni un problème qui bitin pour yo faire. So nous que ça monitor maladie moun na primaire et puis ça qui fait c'est si ou ka ba moun chance pour yo take care ko yo ou que taper primaire résultat.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Au revoir.
When we come back, we'll bring you a few upcoming events and government notices. To stay with us.
Let your spirit take to flight. Let your heart run free and wild. Find your soul in Dominica, the nature isle.
Thanks for staying with us. Time now for a few government notices. The National Parks Unit of the Forestry Division wishes to inform the general public, particularly visitors and tourism stakeholders, that the access to the Emerald Pool will be closed from Monday 21st May to Monday 4th June 2012 in order to facilitate urgent upgrading work at the entrance to the Emerald Pool. However, during the construction period, visitors to the ecotourism site will be allowed to view the Emerald Pool from the first viewpoint on the trail. The Forestry Parks Division sincerely apologizes for any inconveniences caused. The Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation is seeking suitably qualified applications for the post of senior mechanic. The successful applicant will be required to handle servicing, repair, routine maintenance, and care of a variety of vehicles and equipment in the corporation's fleet service. This is a technical and skilled position. The main duties will include the following: ensuring vehicles are roadworthy by repairing and maintaining the vehicles in good and safe working order, test driving vehicles and test components and systems using equipment such as infrared engine analyzers, compression gauges, and computerized diagnostic devices. Performing routine and scheduled maintenance services such as oil changes, lubrications, and tune-ups. Qualification and personal qualities include: the successful applicant must be a dedicated and highly motivated individual with excellent communication skills with the following: possess a diploma in auto mechanics or a vocational technical diploma in auto repair or relevant field. Knowledge of diesel and gas engines is essential. Must have sound knowledge of electrical hydraulic systems, of vehicle maintenance, at least 5 years working experience in a garage, must possess a valid Class C driver's license, computer literate with knowledge of word processing and spreadsheet. Remuneration. Compensation will be commensurate with qualifications and experience. Applications accompanied by detailed curriculum vitae together with 2 references should be forwarded to the Human Resource Officer, post of Senior Mechanic, Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, P.O. Box 79, Roseau, Dominica. The closing date for the receipt of applications is Friday, June 1st, 2012. Only shortlisted applicants will be acknowledged. Up next is your tip of the day. Today we'll share with you a few tips on the benefits of volunteering. Volunteering breeds a spirit of positivity and humility in the person who engages in it. Both are personal developmental qualities that can be a vehicle for an individual's success in life. Volunteering can build a great portfolio. Business people who give selflessly to others have a sense of community spirit and teamwork. All these and more can be developed through volunteering. Voluntary work on your resume is always a plus in the eyes of an employer. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments, so please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm, or you could visit our GIS Dominica page on YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm your presenter, Tarnia Green. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to join us again tomorrow.